Hi everybody and welcome to the Network Marketers Toolbox to kickstart your success online and become an empowered femalepreneur. My name's Jo and I am the mindset side of the Femalepreneurs Academy, and I'm just going to talk to you today a little bit about the exercises in the workbook that you guys have been provided with for the program. So before listening to this, it is worth downloading the workbook first and having a look through, just so you can kind of understand exactly where you're at, and it will kind of make more sense as the slides go on. So get that downloaded and then come back and give this a listen. So becoming an empowered femalepreneur is a journey in itself. You have to develop a solid mindset whilst having a solid business strategy in place. Now, once you have the two together, you'll become unstoppable and be in total control, so you'll be able to manifest your every desire. So within this workbook, there's 5 key steps. So I'm going to take you through steps 1 to 5 on how to become an empowered femalepreneur. And basically, you just have to work through the exercise, each of the exercises within each step, and fill them in just to the best of your ability. And basically each exercise is going to help you to become aware of how your mind is working, what's going on in your subconscious, and how to change it, reprogram it, and have control over it. Now, obviously within the network marketing industry, I and Tasha have been there. I've been there myself, Tasha's been there herself as well. We know how strenuous it can be on the mind, and the body physically as well. Late nights and all that, early starts. But within your mindset, it's really, really easy to lose yourself. It's easy to lose track. It's easy to get caught up in all the instant gratification. You become impatient. You become frustrated. You procrastinate. So it's really, really, really important to know exactly what's going on in your mind, how to reprogram what's going on up there, change your belief system so you can have more control over it, so you can move forward, not just in your business but in your life overall. So throughout these exercises, I want you guys to be 100% honest, be patient with yourself, and just give yourself time to fill them out. It's quite a long workbook. There is, I think, 29 or 30 pages. Give it a good read through. There isn't 29 pages of exercises, there's only a few, but it's just there to help educate you, to guide you and lead you. And the exercises will help you to understand more of what's going on in your mind. So just work at a pace you feel comfortable. Nobody's expecting you to work through the whole book in a day. There is a lot of information in there. So just have fun, embrace the journey, and just enjoy yourself. So within step 1, I speak a lot about vision. So it's so important to have a vision in order to have a final destination. And when you have a final destination, you stay focused, you know what you're working towards, you know that you're always one step closer to that dream and moving forward. So having no vision will only result in not moving forward or progressing, and you end up winging your business every day. Now, within the exercises, I've got a section there for you to fill out, which I want you to fill out what you feel your vision is. So what's your vision? Where do you see yourself in 5, maybe 10, 15 years time? What is your end result? Where do you want within your business to end up? What do you want to achieve? Be really, really specific as well. It's really important to get to the nitty gritty and be really, really specific on where you want to go in your business and within your life. And I also want you to really try and connect to that vision. Feel the emotional attachment to your vision. Get connected, get emotional, get that feeling, because when you're within that feeling and you're accessing that feeling, you activate something called the law of attraction. Now, if you're within the network marketing industry and you've found mindfulness, or you're just starting your mindfulness journey, you will hear a lot of people talk to you about the law of attraction. So there's a bit in there about that as well. So when you connect to your vision and you have that emotional attachment, you sit in that feeling, and when you're sitting in that feeling, it highs your vibration, which then gives out a really good positive energy to the universe. And as you all know, within the law of attraction, whatever you put out, you're getting back. So it's really powerful to sit in your vision every morning, really, or every day if you can. I tend to do my visualization in front of my vision board, which is another exercise I want you guys to do as well. I sit in front of my vision board every morning and I meditate, and I really access the feeling of what I will feel like when I have achieved my vision, or when I'm kind of getting to that pivotal point of my vision. And it makes me feel good. It raises my vibration. It makes me excited. I'm happy. And I know that that's my happy place. So really connect to that vision, guys. So another exercise is your vision board. Now it's really fun actually to kind of get down and, you know, into the vision. You print photos off, or you've got pictures, or even dream catchers, or some nice little glitter things, or whatever. If you're really girly like me, I've got a nice background to mine. I haven't just printed pictures off from Google. For example, I want to buy a house. So when you're doing your vision board, don't just print off any random picture of a house on Google, because is that what you want your house to look like? Try and get things like the furniture you want to buy, or how you want your kitchen to look, or design your house. Get really creative with it. You know, really get down into the vision and really think, what do I want to manifest into my life? What do I want to attract into my life? And you can also put inspiration on there as well. So I've got a woman on there who has a killer figure. So I make sure that I'm down at the gym every day trying to get to that end result. So that keeps me on track, keeping me healthy, because I've got that vision in my head of what I aspire to look like in the future. You could have people on there. So I have a picture of my dad right in the middle of my vision board. And the reason for that is because everything I do is to make my dad proud. So I know if I see him every day, it makes me emotionally connected more to my vision. Because I know that I've got a cause of why I'm doing what I'm doing. So that's your vision board. Get really creative with it. Make it huge if you want to, or you can have a small term vision board, and you can have a long term vision board. You can have a personal vision board. You can have a business vision board. Whatever you feel connected to, it's your vision. It's what you want to manifest and what you want to co-create. So get creative and just go crazy with it, guys. It's super duper fun. When we move on to the goals exercise, so within this exercise, it's really, really important to think about short term, what you want to achieve, small term goals, because then that will, you know, help you to move forward. It's almost like a stepping stone. So you create these stepping stones, or your goals, to get you closer, one step closer to your vision. So you could even relate this back with your vision board. If you have a small term goal, for example, of making 5,000 PV points a month, or you could have it as you want to sell 5 boxes of coffee in a week. You know, your vision could be you want to sell 16 boxes of coffee a month. So your short-term goal could be you want to do 4 in a week, because then 4 every week will make it to the 16. So do you see what I mean, guys? So again, get creative with it. Really take time over this exercise and just really think about where you want to be and how you're going to get there, and work backwards, break it down. Then we move on to visualization. I spoke a little bit about this at the beginning of the slide. So again, step into that vision. How do you want to feel? What do you wear? What does your house feel like? What's the vibe like? Or what does your business day look like that you want to envisage? So just really get into that feeling. And that, guys, is pretty much your vision. So it's really, really important to stay on track with your vision, and you have to have one. Whatever it may be, everybody's vision will be completely different. It's what you're connected to, it's what you want, what you feel. And if you don't have one, you will always, always, always just be winging your business every day. I don't know a single successful entrepreneur that does not have vision. Even when you're at that stage, a pivotal stage in your career, when you're really successful, you will always still have a vision. There's always room to progress. So get your vision, get your goals, and just sit in that feeling. So step 2 is communication. So the daily language that we use towards ourselves is so crucial. If we are consistently negative towards ourselves on a daily basis, we end up filling our subconscious minds with negative thought. And for me personally, I believe that thoughts become energy and feeling, and that gives us a negative outlook on life. So not only a negative outlook, but negative situations and outcomes as well. So whatever comes out of our mouths is a huge indication as to what's happening in our minds. So we need to change it, right? We need to reprogram. So the exercises within this step, within step 2, is a brainstorm. You're becoming aware of the communication that you use towards yourself, and affirmations. So affirmations is the reprogramming part. So I'll get to that at the end. So when you come to do your brainstorm, just think long and hard. How do I communicate with myself? What are the types of negative things that I tell myself? It could be within your business. It could be within everyday life. It could be anything. I want you to be really, really specific. So you could even do a few different brainstorms. So if you're going to print off the workbook, then that's great. Absolutely go for it. But if you're not going to print it off, that's fine as well. Just work from a notepad, buy a new journal. I quite like to do that when I'm buying courses online as well. I like to buy a separate notebook because then I can read back through it, because I always like to expand. And the great thing about working on your mindset is there's always room to improve. There's always room for more. You'll always find yourself offloading, because when you're writing things down, you're getting the negative out of your head and onto paper. So you'll find that more and more will come. So if you want to, buy a brand new journal or use one you already have, then that's absolutely fine as well. So you could even do different types of brainstorms. So if you want to just brain dump and put loads of stuff down, do a business brainstorm. So what are the negative things that you're telling yourself within your business? I can't recruit. I can't sell, no one will join my business, I'm rubbish, I don't have enough knowledge, I'm not very good, I'm not confident. Get it all out, guys. Those are all of the things that I felt at the very, very start of my network marketing journey. And it wasn't until I realized that I was being super duper negative, things weren't happening for me. Things were not happening. And that's when I thought, something has to give here. This must be what I'm telling myself, because I'm believing it. And it wasn't until I found mindfulness and learn all about reprogramming brain patterns and belief systems. It wasn't until I learned that I changed. And this is what we're going to do here, guys. So becoming aware is the most important thing when working on anything, really, to be honest. But within your mindset is really, really important, because when you're becoming aware, that's the first step to actually changing it. So this exercise might make you feel a bit rubbish. It might make you feel a little bit down. It might bring some negative emotion to the surface, but just bear with it. That's totally normal. It's part of the process. You're going to go through that, because if you're telling yourself you're rubbish, it's not going to make you feel good anyway, is it? Right? So focus, don't worry, embrace it. It's all part of your journey, because you're becoming aware of the negative language that you're using. And that's a huge, huge step, guys. So you should give yourself a pat on the back just even for doing that exercise, because a lot of people aren't even aware. So next, we're going to move on to reprogramming. So everything is learned, right? Everything within the subconscious mind, within what we think, within our belief patterns, within our systems, within our programming and, in our minds, it is learned. So they say that by the age of 6 or 7, when you're a child, that your belief system is already instilled within your subconscious. So that's why you have to be very, very careful what you are telling young children, because you're shaping them every single day. They're taking it in. If you think they're not, you're an idiot, because they are. So you have to think about what you're feeding children's minds, because later on it's more difficult for reprogramming, because that's how people become so set in their ways. They don't like change, etc., etc., right? So reprogram is a massive step you have to try and take within your mindset and entrepreneurial journey. So the way we do that is we change the beliefs. So in order to change the beliefs, you have to change what you're telling yourself. And this can be a very, very long process. This can be something that it could be quite monotonous at first. You won't feel connected to it. You'll feel silly. You might not even want to do it with affirmations. I don't really know any other way that you can do it. I mean, personally, for me, I used affirmations and it was the best thing. You can use guided meditation or affirmation meditation. So if you've not done meditation before, give it a go. Put something into YouTube, find a voice you connect with. It's all about connection with me. You have to connect with the person that is speaking to you, and the voice and the music and the feeling it gives you. It's all about connection, because it will go in more. So if you're going to do a guided meditation or an affirmation meditation, stick your headphones in and just put meditation for positive thinking or whatever it is you want to change. You can do affirmations for absolutely anything. You could do it for healthy eating, for losing weight, for earning money, for working on your mindset, being positive, for confidence, for absolutely anything. And it will literally just repeat the statement. So the more you listen to it, the more repetitive it is. Your subconscious mind does not know what's real and what isn't. It's just a fact. It's just the way that our minds are. So you're almost tricking your mind into believing something new. So at first, if you don't want to do a meditation and you want to, because obviously within this exercise, I get you to do a versus exercise, which is what you believe right now and what you want to believe. And then you have to, with that what I want to believe affirmation, you take that and you repeat it to yourself every single day. And trust me, the more consistent you are with it, it works. It's so, so powerful, because the more you're affirming it and saying it out loud, your brain starts to reprogram and starts to believe it. Now, beliefs are there because we have been told things our entire lives. So all you need to do is stop saying the belief that you don't want and the negative one, and just repeat something that you do want. So it's really, really simple, but it takes time and consistency. And at first you'll feel silly. At first you won't believe it because you don't believe it. It's not aligned to you, but you just have to keep going with it. And I had a breakthrough with one of my clients yesterday. She was saying how I look in the mirror and I tell myself I am enough. And at first she didn't believe it. Now it's starting to make her cry because she's having a major mindset breakthrough. And that, to me, was really powerful, because it means that it's starting to work and she can see it starting to work. So this is what these exercises are all about, and they're really powerful, guys. So just take your time. If you get sad or any emotional kind of feelings crop up, then just embrace it and just work through it. So here we've got step 3, which is your limiting beliefs. Again, in step 2, we kind of brush over the surface of limiting beliefs, because again, it's your belief system. It's what you've been brought up to believe. It's identifying, it's changing, it's becoming aware. It's all the same, guys, because it's all within your mind, right? So every human being has limiting beliefs. No matter how successful you are, no matter what you do, you will have limiting beliefs, and everybody's will be different. And it's those limiting beliefs that shape us as human beings. But we can reprogram them. We can reprogram through, facing fears, pushing ourselves. If it's like a physical fear, like being on stage, or, going out to the shop, if you've got kind of a bit of anxiety, for example, they're more fears than limiting beliefs, but there will be a limiting belief attached to that with an emotional connection, an emotional attachment connected to that as well, because everything is linked. Or you can just change the language that you use towards yourself every single day. But again, it takes consistency. So limiting beliefs, especially within network marketing, when I first started my network marketing journey, I had no idea what a limiting belief was. I had absolutely no clue what they were, what it even meant to have a limiting belief. And it wasn't until I started network marketing when I started to realize that this was the start of my mindset journey. And this was when I kept telling myself, I can't recruit, I can't sell. That was limiting belief, massive, because it's just made up in my own head. Because I doubt myself and I don't think I'm good enough. And then I dug deeper and I thought, well, why don't I think I'm good enough? And the reason why I thought I wasn't good enough is because I'd never had anything in my life before. And then I dug deeper and deeper and deeper. And when you start to really dig deep and bring it all to the surface, you think, oh my gosh, I have so much inner work to do. And it all starts with your limiting beliefs. So they hold our own success. They hold us back, not just in our business, but in our lives as a whole. Okay? They keep us in that scarcity mindset and in that resistance. And when you're in that scarcity mindset and that resistance, it literally will only create blocks, and that gives out a horrible negative energy, and it just makes it really difficult to push forward, right? We procrastinate, we don't want to push forward. So within these exercises, we're going to cover your limiting beliefs. We're going to help you to become aware of what your limiting beliefs are. We're going to identify what the problem is, and we're going to start to change it. So there's lots and lots of brainstorming in here, guys. Again, if you want to take your notepads and do separate brainstorms, absolutely go for it, or a bigger one. And journaling. Now, journaling is so, so powerful, because when you journal, and there's no right or wrong way to journal, when you journal, you get things out of your mind and onto paper. So it's like it's a way of releasing, right? So you could release by crying, you could release by laughing, by singing, by screaming, going to the middle of a field and just letting all the air come out of you and scream. It could be through venting, it could be through speaking. But the most powerful way that I've had for myself, and that throughout my clients' journeys as well, the most effective has been journaling. And it's literally where you just take your journal and you just write down how you feel. There's no right or wrong way to do it. You just literally start with how you feel. There's a lot of journaling prompts in this exercise as well, and later on in the workbook too, just to help you get started if you've not done a journal before. But just realize when you are journaling how it makes you feel once you've released certain things. You will feel so much better. And the more you get into the habit of journaling, the better you will feel, because you're not holding on to any negative energy. There's no resentment, there's no hatred, there's no bitterness, there's no upset, because you've got it all out. Obviously, it doesn't cure and it doesn't get rid of limiting beliefs straight away. But the more you become aware, identify and journal, the better you're going to feel. So I think there's also a verses exercise in this again as well. So we take what you believe about yourself now and what you want to believe, and we reaffirm that to ourselves. So work your way through, guys. Again, if you feel any emotional negative feelings crop up, just embrace it. Remember, focus on that this is all part of your journey. So step 4 is all about trusting and surrendering. So this is about your fears, this is about your blocks, this is about what you're scared of, what's keeping you stuck in that scarcity mindset. And again, we're going to go through a journaling exercise and we're going to dig really, really deep, okay? So this is about identifying your blocks and your fears. Majority of people live in fear and scarcity, and they try to control situations and outcomes, rather than trusting that you are where you are for a reason. And trusting is all part of the process. So I know it's really scary, but it is key to moving forward. So living in fear gives out a bad energy, it creates blocks, it means we'll never attract a good energy back to us. And that's what we want, right, guys? We want to be attracting that positive, high vibrational, amazing energy back to us, right? But in order to do that, you have to identify what your fears are. It could be speaking on stage, it could be speaking to your friend about the opportunity, it could be going into a salon to produce your product or to present your product to the owners. It could be speaking to a gym if you're in the health and wellness industry within network marketing. It could be picking up the phone and starting a conversation with somebody. You want to sell the opportunity. It could be anything. You don't even have to have this business related. Again, if you want to brain dump and you want to brainstorm, do 2 separate ones, life and business, or personal and business, and what holds you back. Because if you don't get past what's holding you back, it might sound harsh, guys, but you will never, ever, ever be successful, especially in the network marketing industry. It's so hard. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And if I didn't push myself out of my comfort zone, I would not be sat here recording this audio for you today. 100% not. So you just will not be successful. So if you're not willing to step into that power and say, do you know what, finally I'm going to work through my fears and face them head on, you may as well stop listening to this, because you will never move forward. It is really difficult. It is really hard and it's scary, but life is. And if you want to have that success, you've got to grab it by the horns and just go for it. So that's what this exercise and this step is all about. And when you surrendering is like releasing. So when you surrender, it's almost like you surrender to the universe, right? And I'm and Tash, we're both very, very spiritual people. And we are huge believers that the higher power has an amazing path laid out for us. It's just whether we choose to take that. You have to trust that you are where you are supposed to be right now, and it's all part of your journey. So things like fear around your finances, or fear around, losing team members and things like that. You have to release that fear, because it's out of our control, right? It's out of our control. There's no way we can control every single situation and every single outcome. So if you just trust that it's part of the process, and yes, you're probably listening to this right now saying it's not as easy as that, you can't do that, but that's a limiting belief as well, because you've never done it before, you're unaware of it, or you just don't believe that it's possible. But it so is. You just have to push past that barrier and just believe and trust. I fully do believe that we are all led to certain situations, certain people, and certain circumstances for a reason, and it is all part of our journey. So if you can just become aware of your fears, release them, journal, get rid of them, they don't serve us anymore, higher your vibration, which I'm going to move on to in a second, get into that really good state and that good energy, and just trust that you are where you are supposed to be, because everything is always going to work out 100%. I believe the universe has our backs if you release, if you trust, and everything will work out in divine timing. So this is what this step is all about. So this is my favorite step. This is what I love to talk about. This is step 5, and it's all about your vibration and your energy. We are all an energy force. We're all an energy source and a force, and we always vibrate at a certain frequency. So having a low vibration will only ever attract bad or low type things with the same vibrational match. Now, in order to progress and attract the good things and the things that we desire into our business and our lives, we have to sit at a high vibration if we want to really kind of attract that into our lives. So there's so many ways that you can raise your vibration, and think of it as we are an energy, right? So when things are at a high energy, like if you go to the gym and you're running, your vibration will be so high because you're vibrating really quickly, because we all move. If you put us under a microscope, we move. We're all molecular structures, right? We will move, we vibrate. It's a scientific fact. So we have this force, we're all energy, and we vibrate, and that's just as simple as that. So when you raise your vibration, you feel better, you're in a higher state, you feel happier, better things just happen to you. And I don't know if you've noticed, if you're somebody that sits in a low vibration and you have all the negative limiting beliefs, and you know your body language suggests that you feel lazy, or you feel down, or you know you're just procrastinating, and negative things will happen to you. I don't know if anybody has noticed that, but when I became aware of what vibration was and what energy sources were in the universe, and when I found spirituality and mindfulness, I started realizing, oh my gosh, that is so true. And now that I've sat in a high vibe most of my sort of past 2-3 years, I don't get bad things that happen to me. And if I do, life is life. Obviously, we can't avoid every situation. But if we do, because my mindset is so bang on, I'm prepared for it, and I deal with it, I release it, and I move on, and I don't dwell, therefore resulting in more positive things that happen to me. It's just the way it works. So ways to raise your vibration is music, or if you don't like music, you can dance. Then again, you'd be dancing to nothing if you don't like music. But dancing, exercise, getting out into nature, being around, you know, the trees and the air, and just seeing how beautiful the world is, that can really help you to connect and raise your vibration. If you like to read, if reading nice, you know, books or novels or whatever kind of books you like to read, that can sometimes raise your vibration as well if it makes you feel good. Meditating is a massive one as well. When you do meditation, it helps you to really connect to your higher self, which will automatically raise your vibration because it will make you feel good. So anything you enjoy doing will naturally raise your vibration. So within this step, we talk about morning routine. Now, your morning routine is so important. If you are a network marketer or an entrepreneur and you don't get your mind into a right state in the morning, your day is probably, and this is speaking from experience of obviously everybody is different, but what used to happen to me is I used to get up in the morning and I would check my phone, and I just always used to have negative inboxes from certain people all the time, and I never used to work out, or I never used to meditate. I used to just be really stressed out. I'd had a really rubbish sleep, and I just wasn't connected, and my vibration just wasn't high. But I didn't really understand all of that back then. So I never used to get any work done. I used to procrastinate. I used to worry. I had fear around my finances. I was in a scarcity mindset, and I never got anything done. And I was just really negative. And it wasn't until I started doing a morning routine, I started writing my gratitude list before I went to bed. That got me in a good state of mind. So I woke up better in the morning. And everything works hand in hand. So when you're meditating, or you're listening to music, or you're doing your affirmations to reprogram, whatever it is that you feel comfortable doing or that works for you, because everybody's morning routine will be different. So whatever works for you, just make sure you're consistent with it and really try to get into that power and into that state within the morning before you start your day, because it will give you a higher vibration. And it just makes you feel better as well, and you get more stuff done. So again, the affirmations exercise is all about helping you to reprogram. And then the creating the habit exercise, you can kind of use this for anything, but I've put it there deliberately for your morning routine exercise, because it gets you into the habit of doing your morning routine. So if you write in that section on day one what it is you've done, and it's just to help you to follow it, to get into that habit. And when you're creating new habits, it changes into a lifestyle, and when you're changing your lifestyle, it becomes part of who you are. And that's the point we want to get you to, guys, because when you're an entrepreneur, you have to change your habits. So that is everything on steps 1 through to 5. And yeah, so grab a coffee or a Prosecco if you want to, and work your way through. And we look forward to seeing you progress as an empowered female-preneur.